Hey, welcome back to Tim Sinesi Yoga. I'm Tim Sinesi, and I'm so stoked that you're here ready to start this 7-day challenge. So I designed this challenge to kickstart your practice, to reinvigorate you. Taking a commitment to take 7 days to do something is a great idea to just start a healthy habit, and that's really what I want to encourage you to do. So let's begin. Start off on your back. Set your feet down on the floor. Oh, I just want to remind you, if you haven't signed up for the challenge yet, go to my website, timsinesiyoga.com, sign up for the challenge so I can connect with you after the challenge. All right, so now lie down on your back with your feet hip distance apart, feet down onto the floor, and let your lower back go into neutral. So to find neutral, flatten your lower back down into the floor, and then as you inhale, let your lower back arch as much as you can, like so you could slide your hand underneath. And then as you exhale, let the lower back come right in between. It's not flattened, it's not arched, it's right in between. That's your neutral lower back. So we want to be able to strengthen the spine in this position. So now we're going to just do a little warm up, holding the neutral lower back. So without your hips twisting, bring just your right leg up in the tabletop position. And then change legs. Left leg comes up. So stabilize. Pretend like I put change sides, keep going. Pretend like I put quarters on each of your hip bones and you're not gonna let them tip off. Or you could think hot cups of coffee filled all the way up to the top. And each time you change legs, you're gonna have to use your core muscles and your obliques to prevent you from twisting. Now bring both legs up in the tabletop position. Hold there, chest open. And then slowly lower just the right knee away from you. But don't let the lower back lift. Don't let the hips twist. And then bring it back up and change legs. Slowly lower the left knee away from you. Back up, change sides. And you can use an exhalation to help to engage your abs. Let the navel release back to the spine and keep going side to side now. Now if it's real challenging, you feel like it's a ton of ab work just to do the legs like this, you can just keep doing the legs. But if you want to make it more challenging, take your arms up to the ceiling. Now as the left knee comes up, you're going to slowly let the left arm fall back and then come back up. And as the right knee comes up, slowly let the right arm fall back. Back up. And now as you take the left knee up, left arm back, can you stretch the right leg forward without the lower belly lifting? Keep it flattening into the spine. And then change sides. So this makes a longer lever, so it's like adding more weight, a little more resistance, makes your core work more. Change sides. Keep lengthening your spine. Change sides. Change sides. One more round. Abs in tight. Nice, slow, and controlled. Good. Then bring your knees up in the tabletop position. Put your fingers behind your ears, and as you exhale, curl yourself up now. So we'll work the rectus abdominis too, and then slowly stretch your right leg. Change sides. Change sides. And then let's add a little twist. Twist from your right ribs towards your left knee as the left knee comes in. Change sides. Change sides. Change sides. Come back to center. Woo. Lower yourself down. Let the knees open up. Baddha Konasana legs. Let the shoulders open. You can take the arms like goalpost arms. And just breathe into the opening. All right, then to warm up the hips and the shoulders, take your feet the width of the mat. Let your right knee drop towards your left big toe. Internally rotate your right arm and look towards your right elbow. Come back to center and change sides. Left knee towards the right foot. Internally rotate your left arm so the hand rotates down as you look towards your elbow. Change sides. And change sides. Then come back to center, roll over to your right side. Press yourself up and come onto your hands and your knees for a little bit of cat-cow. So we'll do some flexion and extension to warm up the spine. As you exhale, round your back, look back at your navel. Inhale, wheel your chest through your arms, tip the sit bones up towards the ceiling and open up through the front of the neck. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Feels so good to stretch. One more time. Good, then come into neutral with your spine. Stretch your left arm forward without your ribs twisting. Reach your right leg back. Lengthen the buttock flesh on your right buttock towards your heel. Spin your right inner thigh up towards the ceiling. Change legs. Send your other arm forward and other leg back. Lengthen the buttocks towards the heel, navel up. Change sides. Change sides. So similar core work to what we did on the back, but now we're using muscles in the back more. Lower your hand and your knee. Now root down through your knuckles, through your middle three knuckles, and spread your collarbones, the bones at the top of your chest, from the center of your chest all the way to the tips of your shoulders. Now maintaining that and turning on your core, one leg at a time, step into plank pose. When you go to step the other leg back, make sure that the upper chest isn't narrow. Keep it broad, but then keep your waist and your lower belly lifted away from the floor. Now root through the toe mounds, lift the inner thighs, legs of steel, legs strong. And now holding strong in your plank. If it's real challenging, just stay here. If you want to add on, bring your right knee up towards your chest without rounding, without twisting. And then change legs, left knee up towards your chest. Stretch that leg back. Set your knees down, lower down onto your belly. Then point your toes back. Stretch your arms back too. Lift the shoulders, head, chest up off the mat. And as you press the tops of your feet down, lift your inner kneecaps up. Feel your back muscles start to turn on. And then raise your right hand up an inch without twisting, and the left hand up. Roll the inner shoulders to the outer shoulders. Keep reaching your heart forward, and now lift your left leg up just an inch, but keep the lower back long. Change legs, right leg up an inch. Set that foot down, lower your chest down. Press up onto your hands and your knees or straight up into a plank position, and then stretch back into downward facing dog. So in this first down dog, with your feet hip distance apart, bend your left knee and stretch your right heel towards the floor. We'll walk the dog a little bit. Change sides, bend the right knee, stretch the left heel towards the floor. Change sides. Change sides. Good, then bend both knees just a little, stretch the sit bones up and back and away from your wrists. And then walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach your heart forward, make a flat back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward, let your head drop. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, raise your arms up. Exhale, let your arms rest down at your side, mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, make a flat back, lengthen. Then step back one leg at a time into plank pose. Hold in your plank with your chest open. Without twisting or rounding, bring the right knee up. Change legs, left knee up. Stretch that leg back, hold strong in your plank. Then lower down onto your belly. Good. Back bend variation number 2. Take your elbows out to the side with your knees bent. Start to reach the chest forward. Lift the elbows up first. Then raise the hands up away from the floor. Now rotate your arms externally, which means try to turn the biceps up to the ceiling, the triceps down, and feel the muscles in the back of your armpits start to turn on to do that. Now lengthen through the crown of the head, the tailbone, and reach the elbows away from each other. Pretend like you're in traction. The spine's getting stretched longer, elbows reaching, and go on lengthening here. 2 more breaths. Feel your strong back muscles working, and those back muscles are going to help to support your good posture. So weak back muscles, for sure the chest is going to collapse. This is teaching the chest to stay open. Lower yourself back down. Come back up onto your hands and your knees, and stretch back into downward facing dog. Then set your knees down onto the floor and reach back into child's pose. Uncurl the toes if you haven't already, and let the hips reach all the way back towards the heels. If it bothers your knees though, you can keep the toes curled under. Come back up onto your hands and your knees. Stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms up. Exhale the arms down at your side. Now take your feet hip socket distance apart. That's just a little apart, like space of 2 knuckles in between your hands, in between your feet. And as you inhale, sit back into chair pose. Root the weight back into the heels, let the thighs descend. Lift from your belly, lift your chest. Now bring your hands to prayer, and without your hips twisting, bring your left knee up. Step back into crescent. Draw from your navel up towards your heart. Now take your arms forward, and as you stretch your back leg and lift up from the sides of your waist, raise your arms up. Good, now we're going to go straight into a balancing pose from here. Drop your arms to your side, lean your chest out over your knee. You can stay here. Otherwise, if you feel confident holding the length of your spine, step up to balance over your right leg. Hold with your chest open. Keep lengthening. Find the neutral spine like we had in our back at the beginning. And without your left foot touching the floor, come up to stand, bring your knee up. And lower your leg down. Sit back in a chair pose. Without your hips twisting, bring your right knee up, hands to prayer. Tip back, come into crescent. Ground your back leg, toes, and as you stretch through your back and your leg, lift up through the front of your pelvis, lift through your waist, and raise your arms up. Then drop your arms down at your side. Lean your chest out over your knee. Hold here, working on your length. That's perfectly fine. Otherwise, if you can maintain the length of the spine, which will turn on your core, step up to balance. Strong left outer hip. Then without your foot touching the floor, come up to stand, bring your knee up, and lower your leg down. Nice. Now let's come into tree pose. Bring your left heel up onto the inside of your right thigh. Then interlock your fingers with your left index finger on top. Turn your palms inside out. And we're going to do a pumping motion with the arms. Stretch your hands forward without your chest narrowing, and rebend. And then raise the hands a few degrees, go up a little bit higher, and rebend. Up a little higher, rebend. Don't let your hips come forward as you do this. Up a little bit higher, rebend. Up, straight up over your crown if you can. And rebend your elbows. Lower your leg, change legs. Bring your right heel up onto the inside of your left thigh. Interlock the fingers with the right index finger on top. Start to pump your arms back and forth. Each time you go forward, go up a few more degrees, but don't let your waist come forward. And each time you straighten the arms, try not to let the chest close, even if you can't get them all the way straight or take them all the way up overhead. As your shoulders get healthier, the arm bones will be able to, the elbows will be able to straighten without closing the chest or squeezing the neck. Bring your arms back down and lower your leg down. All right, good. Let's do a few standing poses now. So I forgot to mention that I have blocks for these standing poses. I recommend that you have a couple blocks. If you're serious about practicing yoga, it's a good couple tools to have in your quiver of yoga tools. Okay, so let's take the feet wide apart and make sure that all 10 of your toes are pointing straight ahead, heels straight back. As you stand tall here, open up through the feet, make the biggest footprint that you can on the mat, and stretch through your legs. Then turn your left toes in a little, turn your right leg all the way out, bend your right knee over your ankle, and keeping all four sides of your waist tall, tip from your pelvis out over your thigh, and then place your hand down onto the block on the outside of your foot. Now, if it feels like that's too much of a stretch and you have to round over to get onto the block, you can just go like this, forearm to thigh instead. That's cool. All right, so hand down or forearm down. Reach and grow the tailbone through the back leg, through the heel. Lift your belly and stretch your left arm all the way over your ear. Extended side angle pose, Utthita Parsvakonasana. Now, one sign that you might be going a little too deep or pushing a little too hard is that the breath isn't coming evenly. So you can modify the pose a little bit so that the breath moves evenly through your body. Effort to expand and open up, but ease with the breath. Come back up, turn your feet to the other side. Bend your left knee, tip from your pelvis out over your thigh, and place your hand down. Then as you lengthen through the tail through your back heel, lift your belly and reach your right arm all the way over. Inhale, come back up. Turn your feet to the other side for triangle pose. Now turn your right thigh all the way so all four corners of your knee point in the same directions as your toes. Then tip from your pelvis out over your leg and place your hand down. Elongate through the sides of your waist. Turn your right side ribs and raise your left arm up. Inhale, come back up. Turn your feet to the other side. Tip from your pelvis out over your leg and place your left hand down. Lengthen to the sides of your waist, all four sides. Now turn from your left side ribs up towards the ceiling, but continue the length, that's most important. And then take your arm up. Reach down through your feet. Inhale, come back up to stand. All 10 toes point straight ahead. Then fold forward in between your legs, Prasarita Padottanasana. Fingertips down. Inhale, stretch your chest forward, elongate. Exhale, bend the elbows back, let the head drop down. Inhale, make a flat back again. Exhale, place your hands on your hips and come all the way up to stand. Then turn your left foot out and step up to the top of your mat. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, make a flat back. Step back into plank pose, one leg at a time. Open your chest as you hold in plank, strong in your core. Bring your right knee up without your hips twisting. Change legs, bring the left knee up. Stretch that leg back, then lower down onto your belly. Ooh, geez. Stretch your arms straight back, lift your shoulders, head, chest up. Press the tops of the feet, lift the inner knees, hands up to an inch. Now feel your back muscles turn on. Now rotate the upper arm bones. Lift the right leg up an inch, lift the left leg up an inch. Now get even longer. Lift the skin of the belly, lower yourself down. All right, then push up and back, and stretch back into downward facing dog. Now from down dog, set your left knee down onto the mat and open up into side plank. Good, so first get the spine long. We don't want to ever strengthen in a hunched over position when we're balancing on the arm. So keep the length, or on side plank at least, keep the length in your spine. And then see if you'd like to add on, keeping the length through the tail and the belly up, maybe you can stretch the left leg out behind the right. And hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back into plank pose. And then change sides. Set your right knee down, open up to your side. Good, so hold here. Or if you're feeling that the spine is long, the head is back in line with the spine, you can hold this line, stretch the right leg out behind the left. And hold for 5, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back to plank pose and stretch back to down dog. Then walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Take your feet outer hips distance apart, and let's practice a little malasana, a little squat. Lower the hips towards the heels as best you can, and lift from your belly towards your chest and join your palms together. Good, then fold forward, straighten your legs. Bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to stand. Okay, now one thing you should keep in mind about this sequence, take the 2 blocks up to the top of your mat, is that the sequence will become increasingly more difficult throughout the week. So day 1, day 2, I'm setting you up for all the movements that are going to become more challenging. So if you're like, I don't feel like this is a crazy workout, how am I going to lose weight doing this? Don't worry, it's going to get more challenging. But if you feel an intense challenge just from day 1, you can always stick with day 1 for a few days. Okay, tip from your pelvis and place your fingertips down onto the blocks. Elongate your spine. If you don't have blocks, you can always use a chair, or if your spine is rounded to get your hands down onto blocks, then come up even higher. Fingertips, chair, scaffolding, I don't know what else you might have to use. But if you feel like it's easy to get a flat back here and your body's pretty open, you're being called deeper into the pose, then you could start to walk your hands forward or even turn your blocks down a notch as we let the back of the leg open. So we're always looking for in yoga a balance between strength and flexibility. That's what makes us truly mobile, and that's true strength. So it's not just about tightening up things, it's not just about stretching. We want to be practicing a balance so that a healthy muscle can contract all the way and release all the way. Come back up. Then step your back leg forward and stand tall in mountain. So for especially the warrior 3 stuff that we're going to work, change sides, you're going to need this opening in your back body. Tip from your pelvis. So you won't really be able to strengthen your core how we'd like to in yoga unless you can get a nice flat back in this pose. Now what do I mean by flat back? What I really mean is a long spine working towards neutral. The spine has curves in it, so it's not really flat, but the appearance of the skin of my back body is like a flat position. Like I could lay a foam roller on it, it looks flat in the mirror. That's what you're going for. So you can always check yourself in front of a mirror. You could take a snapshot. I don't know how to set up your camera or something. You figure it out. You get ways. You're resourceful, I'm sure. Okay, so hold here for a few more breaths. Or if you'd like to explore going deeper, if you feel like you're being called deeper, then go ahead. But it shouldn't feel like your body is fighting the movement. All right, inhale, come back up on your fingertips if you want a little deeper. Step your back leg forward and fold forward, let your head drop. Inhale, flat back again, lengthen your spine out. Step back into plank. And then stretch back into downward facing dog. Good, now from down dog, set your knees down onto the floor. And we're gonna work on strengthening the triceps and the biceps and get strong ripped upper arms from this next exercise. We're gonna practice the dolphin pose, preparation for Shirshasana. So reach the forearms down onto the floor, spread across your collarbones. Then with your knees back under the hips first, as you reach down into your strong forearms, curl your toes under, lift your knees, lift your hips up. Keep reaching down through the forearms, pull the belly up, and then lift up higher, higher, higher through your hips and your sit bones. Now to make it more challenging, see if you can bring your left knee towards your chest without twisting. And then change legs. Set that foot down. Set your knees down and stretch back into child's pose. Come up onto your hands and your knees and we'll prepare for low lunge. So this is a great stretch for the quads to prepare for all the kneeling positions that we do in yoga. Step your right foot up in between your hands or come up onto your blocks to open up your chest. So this might be an intense stretch just to hang out here. If you want to make the stretch a little deeper, try bending your back knee and reaching back with your hand. Ooh, and you feel a deeper stretch in your quadriceps. So we need these quads to be pretty healthy, the quads and the hip flexors for all the back bends in yoga, many of the seated poses. So holding this stretch is important. Change sides. So start with just the foot in between your hands, hold there. Or if you feel like you need to go deeper to get a stretch, then reach back with the hand. But if you're already in that last position, you're like, man, I already feel a pretty intense stretch. You don't need to try to add on. All right, good. Then release your foot. And let's practice sitting back in between our heels for Virasana. So this is not recommended if you have bad knees. You can take support like I'm doing with a block in between your heels. Let's give it a shot here. All right, now if you're able to do the bind, we're gonna try to walk back with the knees in this position with the hands. If that's already very intense, you can just do this with your feet in front of you, seated flat on the floor and walking your hands back like this. Either way, chest open. So either with the feet behind you or with the feet in front of you, turn the shoulders back, open up your chest, and then lift your hips up. And stretch through the front of the hips, down into the knees, roll the shoulders, chest open. If this bothers your knees or your lower back, just do it with the feet in front of you. Then lower your hips back down. then we'll come into Bharavadrasana. Sweep the feet over to the left and sit with your hips over to the side, twist to your right. Come back to center, take your feet over to the right, twist to your left. Grow tall up over your sit bones, grow your spine upright as you're turning. Pretend like you're twisting up like how a bottle cap unscrews. And that action that's really important for your spine. Then sit with your legs wide apart, Upavista Konasana. And in this position, see if you can get all four corners of your knees to point straight up and your toes to point straight up to the ceiling. Then hook your right inner knee, bend the knee, bring the heel towards your pubic bone, and turn to face your left inner leg. Work on sitting up tall, opening up your back body, developing a strong core with the legs in this position. Or you can start to fold forward out over your leg and reach for your foot. If your spine's already healthy enough to sit upright with ease, then you could go deeper. Come back up, change sides. And come back up. Now let's practice Ardha Matsyendrasana. So take your left ankle and cross it on the right ankle, cross it on the outside of your left knee. Hug your right knee in and sit up tall. So if it's difficult to sit up straight in this position, I recommend putting a block underneath you, like if you're all tucked back like this. Otherwise, if you can hug your knee in and sit up straight, then wrap your elbow around your shin, let your belly lift up and spin, and then put your right hand behind you. Grow the spine taller as you're twisting. Come back to center. And these twists, these are so good for detoxifying the organs. Change sides. And if the organs aren't able to function properly, that really affects how we store weight. Grow the spine tall and start to turn. So if the organs become sluggish, we can start to stimulate the organs better with these twists. So just visualize like you're allowing the organs to be stimulated through the squeeze and pressure. And then come back to center. So good. Okay, let's do one last pose to finish things off. A little hip opener. Lie down onto your back. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and gently hug your left knee towards you. And you can either hold the shin, or if it's too much, hold the back of the leg if it's too much pressure on your knee or too hard to try to reach for the shin. And change the cross. And uncross your legs. Set your feet down, and then one leg at a time, stretch out for corpse pose. So this is the most important part of your practice. After we've done all that good work, we want the body to be able to rest and restore and really receive all the benefits from all the work that you did. So just close your eyes, let your body open. So much of our lives are go, 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 push, push, push. To take this time just to calm the nerves and start to still things and quiet the mind is so important for your overall health. If we want the body to function properly, We feed it good food, clean water, we do exercise, but then also we take time to meditate so that hormones are regulated, the brain is able to function at peak performance, and there's less strain overall on the nervous system so that the body functions at peak levels. Let the shoulders relax away from the neck. Let go of any tension in your jaw and in your tongue. Let all the muscles of the face soften. And with each exhalation, visualize like a wave of energy traveling down from your head, past your feet, and away from you. Carrying with it anything that is preventing you from finding peace. Any tension in the body, any worries, fears. Any concerns, just let them go. And each time you breathe in, you can feel fresh life force energy, energizing and restoring the body. Then gently bend your knees, roll over to your right side, and press yourself up to seated. Sit up straight and tall, bring your palms together. Thank you, namaste. All right, so thanks so much for starting this challenge with me. I hope that you're enjoying it so far. Leave a comment below. Let me know any thoughts, questions that you have. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time. Oh, hit the like button too. All right, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.